I got bullied heavily in Catholic school, and so to the point that I never wanted to go there. I grew up in the Lower East Side of New York City. It was always very vibrant, very lively. I'm very proud to be Puerto Rican. In the Lower East Side, it's a very Puerto Rican neighborhood. So being Puerto Rican is not what made you different. Being gay is what made you different. I remember I used to hide in the closet, literally, not figuratively. I used to hide in the closet and skip school. My dad found me once. The time he found me in the closet, I remember he was like, "Bryan, come out," and I came out, and I remember instead of yelling at me, he was like, "Well, why are you here? You know, what's happening in school?" And then he proceeded to tell me a story about his best friend from his 20s who was gay and that he loved him no matter what. And I knew that he told me that story so that he was speaking to me through his friend. He said one of his proudest moments of me was when I came out. You know, you don't hear that a lot from gay men and their fathers.
I just want to see the dog.
Growing up, I felt the support from my parents, and I think that was a saving grace because I didn't necessarily feel that out in society.
Back then, when I was suspecting that Bryan was possibly gay around the age of 4 to 5 years old, I wasn't as accepting. I was praying and hoping that he wasn't gay. Now it's different.
I met his mother.
Having a gay son also helps me to become more aware of their issues and what they're faced with. I'm not saying that, wow, I'm the perfect mom, to a gay son, but I would say, yes, that I embrace my son and who he is wholeheartedly.
Because I was so shy and because I was gay and I didn't really want people to know, I sort of introverted a lot. And so writing was a way of me to live out my fantasies or to sort of create these ideal environments and create some excitement for myself. At that time, I wrote about an individual who crossed the border, the Mexico-US border, while being gay. My ex-boyfriend, Pablo, he was from Guatemala. He was my first boyfriend, my first love. And through him, I learned a lot about what it meant to be an immigrant. In Guatemala, it wasn't a place where he can be out. There's a lot of individuals who are LGBT who are crossing the border because they're LGBT and because they want to come to America where they think it's a place that's more accepting and that they can be themselves. Alejandro, with his glazed over eyes, stares at me. Tequila, because we were both still very drunk, makes you admit everything. And he says he has something to tell me. His voice is numb, words falling from his mouth. He's been going to motels since he was 12, and he has something that up north they have medicine for. Medicine they don't have in Guatemala or Mexico, especially for someone poor like him. I know what he has, but I ask anyway, hoping maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. He has that disease with no cure. When you are gay or you're an LGBT, you're sort of forced into this political atmosphere because if you don't fight for yourself, then who is? So I currently work at SAGE. It's an organization that's dedicated to improving the lives of LGBT older adults. What I do there, I'm the outreach coordinator for Harlem and the Bronx. As a young gay man, I never ever thought about aging myself until I worked here. There's not many services for older adults in general, and then you have LGBT older adults, there's even less. And I think sometimes it really takes a special effort to bring to light the different struggles that different types of people face. If you're Asian American and LGBT, your story may be very different from someone from my community who's Latino and LGBT, or someone who's an immigrant, or someone who grew up in a rural area. It's all very different, and I think in the LGBT community, we really have to work in trying to acknowledge that and to make sure that the things we're fighting for is really for the benefit of everyone.